You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments below, and be sure to smash that like button. Signing day was Wednesday, the traditional signing day, the February signing day. It was an uneventful day for LSU. They signed Dominic McKinley, which we knew. They missed out on Terry Bussey. Bummer, but LSU finishes with a consensus top 10 class, as high as number 4 by on 3. We talked plenty about the class, but Brian Kelly, meeting with reporters, did talk about the portal additions. We spent so much of the time on Wednesday talking about the defense and what they still need to do there, and not as much time about the portal additions. Players we knew, but this is the first time we heard Brian Kelly talk about it. First, Brian Kelly talked about this team's approach in the portal in this cycle.
We looked at it from a perspective of fit and need, but fit first. And as I've said to you before, I think it's, for us, we're going to develop and build this program with high school players and then be very strategic with the portal. It's no coincidence that 4 out of the 6 players are from the state of Louisiana and have ties to the state of Louisiana. 2 from Baton Rouge out of U High, 2 from New Orleans and John Ehret and Warren Easton High School, and then 2 that are established players from the SEC.
Fit. This is something Brian Kelly has done since he's been here. That first year in the portal just went all after guys from the state of Louisiana who had went elsewhere and brought him back home. And it paid huge dividends that first year. And they're continuing to do that, just not in as great a numbers. As Brian Kelly has said over and over again, the intention is build, develop, retain through the high school ranks, supplement through the transfer portal. So that's what they did here. And 3 players, there were 6 transfers, but 3 on the offensive side that I think are worth bringing up, and it's Swan, Daniels, and Thomas. A.J. Swan, the quarterback, then the 2 receivers, Daniels and Thomas. And here was Brian Kelly talking about those 3.
We needed to add some offense back into an offense that lost some prolific weapons. And we do that with 3 players in particular, A.J. Swan, C.J. Daniels, and Xavier Thomas. If you take those 3 together, combined, they bring in 4,200 yards of offense total.
So Xavier Thomas was Mississippi State's leading receiver a year ago. He's from John Ehret originally before he went to Starkville. C.J. Daniels, we know, big number 1 receiver at Liberty this past season, was a 1,000-yard receiver at Liberty. And then A.J. Swan has actually started more games in the SEC than Garrett Nussmeier, who started his first game ever in the bowl game. So you bring in 3 guys that can help you. The receivers are meant to give you immediate production, veteran production. When you lose Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas, bringing in Xavier Thomas and C.J. Daniels, you immediately replace some of that veteran production to go along with Kyron Lacey and Chris Hilton and Aaron Anderson and Shelton Sampson and a lot of the young talent you have behind there as well. These are just guys that are more established major college football players that are older in their careers right now. Brian Kelly continued on the 3.
A.J. Swan with 22 touchdown passes in 23. Jaden Daniels had 19 in his first year. So, you're bringing in somebody that you feel really good about his ability to generate offense at the quarterback position. C.J. Daniels, 1,000 yards in receiving. And Xavier Thomas, 500 yards and 40 touches. Now you've got almost 100 touches with 2 wide receivers that have, experience coming back into your offense.
We've talked about it before. They have more production than all of LSU's returning receivers combined. So you added veteran production there. And listen, the hope is, sincerely, that your young guys, maybe it's Shelton Sampson, maybe it's another one of the young guys, just absolutely explodes. And as a sophomore season, kind of like Malik Neighbors had once Kayshon Boutte was injured. So let's see if that can materialize that way. I guess it was the freshman season for Neighbors' sophomore year in 22. Let's see if that can materialize here for some of these young guys. And if not, What a great luxury to have these veteran guys. And one more from Brian Kelly on the offense. He was asked about the success the offense has had. Like, is it easier to recruit given the success your offense had? And this sounds fairly obvious, right? I mean, you had the number one offense in the country. When you've done that, is it easier to go out and recruit offensive skill?
Well, I think we're seeing it, right? I mean, clearly this is another, top 10 recruiting class. The next year's class has gotten off to a great start. So, clearly the success that we're having and consistency of performance, in particular on the offensive side of the ball, is resonating. And, you still have to follow it up with intentional, consistent recruiting, but both of those are working together.
It's always fun to see a plan outlined and then executed. The old adage, like, tell them what you're going to tell them, then tell them what you told them. That's kind of what they're doing here. Brian Kelly is telling you what they're trying to do or what their plan was. They're executing the plan. Now can it pay the dividends? And that's what we'll find out in the fall. But they're building this roster the way Brian Kelly wanted to. Build through the high school ranks, develop and retain that high school talent, and supplement through the portal. Can it work at a national championship level? We'll start to get those answers come fall. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.